Hello, John here. Couldn't write it, could you? The minute I start filming a video, someone always either gets a drill or a saw out or something and starts working. It's just comedy timing. Anyway, so today I did a bit of a first. I've been looking at a stretch of the River Lune for the last couple of years, really. If you watch this video and you live around Morecambe or Lancaster, there's a part of the River Lune that runs through Lancaster and Halton until it comes to Skirton, and then there's a weir. After that weir, that section of the River Lune's tidal, and it flows round through the centre of Lancaster, past the quay. It goes under a bridge where the trains go over, which some people call Carlisle Bridge, and then it flows down, slowly making its way to Glassendock and out into the sea at Sunderland Point now. Just down that stretch of road, there's a pub on the side called Golden Ball, or some people call it Snatchums, and apparently it was used hundreds of years ago for people press ganging people to go on boats. I think they used to put, is it a coin in people's drink, and if you found a coin in your drink, someone had slipped in, it was a sign that they were going to take you away on a boat and use you to work. But anyway, this pub, quite often I've sat there and looked down the river towards Lancaster, and you can see the bridge where the trains go over, and I've wondered how far it is and is it possible to swim. And then about a year and a half ago, came into possession of a scrapbook about swimming. And in the 1960s, just for a bit of reference, there was a swim event put on from the quay in Lancaster, and a group of people swam all the way down, past that pub, the Snatchums place, and to Glassendock, then out into the sea at Sunderland Point, turned right all the way up the bay, past where the power station is now, and Heysham and Sandylands and the Battery and the Midland Hotel, finishing at the Stone Jetty. Now, out that group, only one of the swimmers made it, a guy called Kendall Mellor from Keighley. I think it was a 21-mile swim. But just that section of river, I've looked at it over the last couple of years and wondered about swimming it, probably in preparation for doing a swim from Lancaster to Glassendock myself. And a couple of days ago I thought, right, it's not going to be warm forever, summer's coming to an end soon, let's get in and do it. And I thought I'd persuaded someone to do it with me, and at the last minute they couldn't do it, or they pulled out, I didn't want to do it. So the original plan was to get in off the quay in Lancaster and swim down the river as the tide was emptying out and get a bit of a pull down the river. And when my friend decided he couldn't do it, or didn't want to do it, I thought, right, how do I do this? Because I'm going to have to drive to the quay in Lancaster, swim down to Snatchums, the Golden Ball pub, a couple of miles down maybe, or whatever it is, and then I've got to somehow get myself and all my wet gear back up to where I left my car. So this morning I thought, right, well, the only way I can think is to do a two-way swim, get in near the Snatchums pub on the River Lune and swim up towards the quay, and then come back as it starts emptying out. And that's what I did. I went on my own, which is probably not the wisest thing to do, but I take the risk. I'll take the responsibility for myself. I swim at my own risk, I know that. But whenever I'm swimming anywhere on my own, for the first time, I do take precautions. I have my wetsuit on, I have my float. I stayed very close to the riverbank. I'm not going silly. I stayed within touching distance almost of the riverbank, and I thought, if I need to get out for any reason, I know I can get out. So I set off swimming, and today high tide was about 12:30. And the purpose of this swim was to find out how quickly after high tide in the sea, that tidal part of the river starts flowing out. And I'd imagined maybe like an hour after high tide in the sea, the river would start emptying. So I got in a bit late. I got in at 12, and I was swimming up, and I got to just under a mile, and I was able to see some houses to my right. It's the more recent additions to the far end of the quay. There's some townhouses there. And I was sort of level with those houses, and I just felt like I wasn't getting anywhere anymore. It's about bang on 12:30, so high tide time. I was really trying to get up to Carlisle Bridge, but I just thought I'm swimming on the spot. So I got just under a mile, and then I thought, well, it's turned, you know, which surprised me really. I thought it'd turn a bit later, but now I know. So I swam back with the flow on the same side, close to the side, and I got out where I'd got in, and it was quite a nice swim. A bit strange because the part of the river Lune I'm used to swimming in is fresh water. This part of the Lune I was in today is obviously mainly seawater, so it was more buoyant. There was seaweed in it, which I'm not used to in the river, and it tasted salty, obviously. But it was a nice swim. Some people have been worried about that stretch because they say it's polluted or there's an outlet somewhere. The only thing I saw was one patch of like that sort of scummy type white foam floating on the surface. I don't know what it is or what it was. There was a patch of about 25 metres long, which I just breaststroke through and kept my head out of the water. But I did it. I feel quite good that I've done it. I think next time the plan's going to be set off like possibly an hour before high tide. Probably get a bit of a push up the river if anything, and get up past Carlisle Bridge. I want to be right near the quay, heading up towards Millennium Bridge if anything, and then swim back as the tide turns and get a nice pull back. But it's been done. I think I'm the first person in our swimming group to attempt it. I mean, I can understand people's reasons for not wanting to swim that stretch. As well, you sometimes get groups of jet skiers rallying up and down there. Today, when I got halfway, I did notice one jet skier got in, but it was only one, and he stayed well away from where I was. So I felt pretty good. But it's been done, and hopefully the next time I do it, you know, I'll be making my way all the way up past the bridge, and I'll get to do the swim I've wanted to do, and then we can start thinking about an actual swim all the way down to Glass and Dock one day. Whether it's this year or next year, I don't know.